some off track stuff.
You look so
Very casual. Yeah, it's nice, right? Because it's not an NBC game.
I feel like you're in the Bahamas right now.
Dude,
and
this is my go-to.
you just had a chicken sandwich and...
This is I did just have a chicken.
Did you? There you go. This is James.
This is new James.
I mean, you look great. You look relaxed.
I'm very calm, man.
I think this is how we start.
So I think we're already rolling. We're rolling into this. You know, we're talking. I looking casual, and you're looking sunburned. You look like you're in the Bahamas right now. You look like a Bahamas sunset.
Yeah, I look like I'm part of some sort of resort club in Florida.
Oh, you got like
the Panhandle,
like a Club Med vibe.
Yeah, I'm like in Destin, Florida, and I need a
all-inclusive. Where's your wristband?
Yep, don't have that. Already lost that.
The ring gets you in.
The ring, yeah.
Does the ring get you in places?
I don't know.
You tried? You should try.
I don't normally wear jewelry, but this is a piece that I was gonna wear. I don't know. I think I haven't tried that.
Right. Have you ever worn it at like a non-event, like a non-Indy 500 related event, or you're there because you're Indy 500 winner Josef Newgarden?
First time I've worn it is this last couple weeks. So maybe I will.
Well, because did you only just get it, or is that the one you get on the day?
No, yeah, I just got this one.
Okay.
A little bit ago. So
I would wonder. I mean, here I was gonna say, like, I feel like around Indianapolis it might work, but also your face would just work. You don't need the ring.
Everyone has definitely been very nice. People keep asking what is the difference year over year. That is definitely a difference. Like people, they recognize you more. I mean, it's a very awkward thing to say, but that it does happen.
No, it's funny though because like you've been doing this for 12 years, right? And you do the same number of laps, you put in the same amount of effort, you do all the same stuff you've done but you just happen to be the guy across the line first, and now it's like, oh my God, it's Josef Newgarden.
Yeah.
It's like, I was already a 2-time champion. I've been doing this for over a decade.
It's a difference maker.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, you know how this is. I mean, it's the Indianapolis 500. It's the biggest race in the world. That's arguable. People can.
I don't think it is. And
I don't either.
I try to be objective about. I'm an unbiased member of the media now, Joseph. But like, they're like, oh, Le Mans. I'm like, yeah, Le Mans is cool.
It is. It's amazing. It's a legendary event. I just, and we're obviously a little biased.
I try. Yes.
But trying to not be biased, I don't know what.
It's older.
It's older. Yeah. It's. I think it's more rooted in the history of automobile racing. Why did we start? What is the foundation of this? The roots are man and machine and testing the boundaries, creating a facility where we can innovate and do it at the highest level. Mm-hmm. And it started here, and we're still putting on the greatest show, and the crowd, nothing else holds a candle to it. So it is incredible.
Yeah, it's the best. You don't have to say it. I'll say
it's the best.
Okay, so let's talk about the race a little bit. Congrats on qualifying. Obviously,
Thanks,
incredible effort from the team.
Amazing.
I mean, part of history. First front row lockout since the late '80s. Also, Team Penske. Does stuff like that matter to you, or does it mean something to you?
Well, so I guess I don't know the fact on this. Was the last? I know it was '88 for Team Penske, but was that also the last front row lockout for a team,
Correct.
A single team?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. I did hear the fact. I didn't know the fact it was '88 the last time that Team Penske did it. It's incredible. When you go through it. It's no secret. You've watched it. I think everybody that has been watching the last couple of years knows that we've been struggling. We've been trying to find speed for probably 4 years now. And every year we show up, we think like, okay, we're turning the page this year. Like we got it sorted out. And we kind of hit a wall literally 4 years in a row. And I think finally now, it's sort of all come together. But it's not from a lack of effort. I mean, every single year we said we got it sorted. So it was great. It was a fantastic team day. There's no doubt. I think that was the highlight. At Indy here, you got to drive the car. It's still a lot of hard work. Man, it's the most stressful thing ever. But it was incredible to see how I noticed it more this year than ever, how stressed everyone else was too. When you're a driver, you kind of you sort of only notice yourself. You're like, this is very nerve-wracking what I'm doing. But I noticed this year more than ever how stressed the engineers, the mechanics, the fans, the wives, like it is so stressful on everybody. And so, I mentioned that because it's hard what we're doing in the car, but it really emphasizes the team qualifying in Indianapolis. If they give you a fast car, it makes our job easier, and it showcases the team aspect, I think, more than anywhere else we go.
You kind of touched on something I wanted to ask a little bit later, but you guys have been searching for kind of qualifying speed, right? No doubt Chevy helped, but you guys have separated yourselves from in one of the closest fields. Those 3 cars definitely stood out. But coming into the month, Will was particularly vocal about like, no, we got it this year. Like, we're gonna be fast again. Like I know we said that the last, but like this year we've actually got it. Did you come in with that same kind of confidence? Because again, every year you're like, okay, I think we've done it. But like this year, Will's been saying it since like Barber or like even like earlier. He had it in his head that you guys were gonna be fire this month.
I mean, what he said is true. If we didn't have speed this year, it would have been extremely confusing. Okay. You're going, okay. We've seen this story 4 years in a row. How are we really missing this? Because, I mean, we doubled down on everything every single year. It was like aerodynamic efficiency, mechanical efficiency. It was weight. It was this. It was that. It was like we have poured our hearts and souls into these cars, and I think that's what really showed up this year. It's like we refined everything on our cars so much that if you just put a couple of missing elements that were maybe still there, and they were still there last year, there's literally nothing else to look at.
Right.
Like we have touched every piece on this car and tried to make it as perfect as you can. So it was nice to see the speed because I don't know what we should have just stopped. If it wasn't fast this year, there's nothing that was going to make the cars fast.
It's obviously anytime you're on the front row here at the Speedway, it's awesome. Is it like a bit of a bummer though when the 2 guys ahead of you are your teammates? Like, does that matter? Or
It is.
Like,
yeah, I mean, how can it not be, right? Like, I wanted to be on the pole. I think everybody does, even when you're racing your teammates. But I think at the end of the day, and this is hard for me to say after the fact, but I think whether it was me on the pole or it was Will on the pole or it's Scott on the pole, what we showed this weekend really was a team day. It was always going to be a team day.
For sure.
How could it not be, right? Like, I think a lot of the circumstances and the way qualifying stacked, like, I know where we sort of lost our pole chance. And it's like the smallest details. Like, it really happened on Saturday, to be quite honest.
Does the order have anything to do with it?
Yeah,
you think?
for sure. I mean, it's just how it works.
Being able to run later.
When you have 3 cars this close,
Yeah.
it's like, man, it's probably going to be one of us, and it's just going to come down to now who's last. And, that's Indy. I mean, some years it's your year and some years it's not. But I think, like I said, it's easy to say this after the fact. But, man, if I was sitting on pole, I could tell you right now, it would be the same deal. It's like this is all about the team. It's amazing what they have given us. And, as much as we're all competitive, every single car individually wanted to be sitting on the pole, you could see the pride in, like, every single individual in the garage. Every mechanic on each individual car. They touch all the race cars. It's not like the 2-car guys are just on the 2-car, the 3-car guys are just on the 3-car. They have an effort and they have a say in all of the race cars. So you could really feel the pride from everybody, which was really nice to see.
Now, I really liked the fact that, well, first of all, that you went into the grandstands last year when you won. I thought that was super cool. But I respected the fact that you're like, no, that was planned. I've been thinking about that since the first time I got here. I thought that was kind of cool. So my question becomes, when you win a second one, is that your thing? Like, is that like climbing the fence, or have you already? And obviously you don't say it, but like, have you already planned out what the next move is after the checkered flag?
I never thought I would get to do that, James. To be honest with you, I really believed it was not going to happen, and I think you almost have to get to it. I got to a place there where it was like, forget it. But you're right. I did plan that. I had been dreaming of that moment. I knew exactly where I was going. I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot, actually, in some ways. I don't know how you can't. I think you're kind of reserved to say, like, oh, you don't want to say you're thinking about winning the race. How could you not?
Dude, it starts when you're like 4 years old and you start practicing your signature.
Yeah.
Right? You're like making a statement. I'm going to be famous one day and people are going to want my signature, so I'm going to practice my signature.
I think it's just
the same thing.
It's natural to dream about these things. It's also okay. Like, it's okay to fantasize a bit about what could happen. I don't think you want to be consumed by it,
no.
But I definitely think about it. So yeah, I've been wondering about this question.
Elio climbs a fence. That's his thing. But
yeah,
like,
I don't know. I mean, I love it. I genuinely, what captivates me about Indianapolis, which is so true about the event, is the energy of the crowd. There's nowhere else in the world that's like this in sports. And so that's why I wanted to go into the crowd. I'm like, this would be the coolest way to celebrate, would be to be in this energy. Maybe it'll be the same thing, or maybe it'll be something different.
No, obviously this is your decision to make ultimately. But if I can just
you have a recommendation.
if I can just throw a suggestion into the hat, right? I'm pretty sure if you stop on the back straight and then jump into the lake,
oh wow,
that would be pretty cool.
Wow,
that would be pretty epic.
Yeah,
and some fans would probably see what was happening. They'd kind of come to or park it in 3, mosh pit in the snake pit.
I mean, that would be the back straight into the lake would be a choice. It would be a choice.
It's a commitment. It's not going to be like a quick thing. You're going to have to navigate some obstacles.
It's an interesting choice,
yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know. My favorite part about being a driver at Indianapolis, I think one of our biggest privileges is getting to stay here.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire, whatever it is, 3 weeks. And, at nighttime when everybody's gone, you kind of have the facility to yourself. You get a lot of time here to explore and look around, and we don't get in trouble. Like, we try not to get in trouble.
Just flash the ring.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's cool. I got the ring, man. Let me know. No, but you get to really see this place, like no one else does. And so there's a lot of time to think about stuff, and I'll have some of those thoughts. But, I'm more focused on, and I think, just to be a little serious about it, I these days I'm just enjoying the opportunity more than anything. And I really mean that. Like, I got to this place last year too, where of course I really want to win the race. I want my team to win it, but you lose focus of the enjoyment of it, and just it's cool to be in the race. It's cool to qualify, and you're there, you're on the grid, and you have a chance to be a part of this 200 lap race and maybe win it. And it sounds easy and simple, but for me it was a nice shift to come back to just enjoy the moment. Like, you're here, not many people get this opportunity, and I think it changes, the day a little bit for you.
Completely understand. Okay, quick pivot, and then I'll let you go. 100 Days to Indy.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of the show? Do you watch the show?
I haven't watched this year.
No? Did you watch last year?
I did watch last year, actually. Yeah, truthfully.
Do you like? Is it weird when camera crews are like in your house and following your family around in intimate moments? Is it bizarre?
It's tough.
Okay.
I mean, I've tried to be a little bit more open. It is not natural for me. I'm very introverted, more than people realize. So it's a difficult thing.
But I have to say, so I know you haven't watched this season yet. I have. I'm up to speed on it. We still have obviously an episode or 2 left, but decided lack of Joseph's abs this season, which I know is causing outrage on the internet. And I just want to know what gives, man. Why are we not? Where's shirtless Joseph in season 2?
I'm not the creative director, Obviously, maybe people didn't like that, and they were like, we had a lot of people that disliked it.
No, I don't know any of them.
I don't know. I don't know the feedback that they've gotten,
It's all
Obviously, they know what they're doing.
Overwhelmingly positive.
Well, they're out there.
I'm just saying, for the last episode, if you want to just make sure that somehow it gets in there.
Maybe that's the thing.
I'm sure it'd be greatly appreciated.
You're asking. Maybe that's the thing.
You just suit down.
We're just going to work out. We're going to work out on the front straight, like right there in the start-finish line.
He's just going to straddle the front of the car and do deadlifts with the front suspension, just lift the front of the car up.
Could you imagine?
Oh, it'd be great. Okay, final question. We've been asking this for everybody. We talk a lot about tradition at the Speedway and how fortunate everybody is that gets to be a part of it, and how cool the history and the pomp and circumstance and the pageantry and all that. This could actually be, this is like you can choose because you've experienced both recently now. What is your least favorite Indy 500 tradition? But I'll give you the caveat of being able to also pick from the pool of post-winning things.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I don't know all of them. I never did it. But I've followed along. I know roughly what's up. But, like, pick one tradition either that everybody does pre-race or that winners do post-race that is your least favorite.
Oh, and what classifies as a tradition? Like, it has to be in the period just after the race?
No, something that is that every person has to do, right? So it's not like, oh, well, this radio station called you up, like, fine, whatever. But, for getting
you know what? Oh, I know it. I know it 100%.
Okay.
It is the victory speech.
At the banquet?
At the banquet.
The banquet.
Yeah.
Even for the winner.
Yeah.
Because the banquet's been a popular choice for everybody else.
Yeah.
But no one has said as the winner that
it's the worst part of the deal. It's James.
Really?
It's the worst part of the deal for me. I dislike it so much. I really don't want to speak, to be honest with you. I think people believe that I want to speak. I don't. I try and go speak but I don't want to do it.
But you helped perpetuate this because when you are on camera or you are in front of people, you are open and gregarious and have an effervescence to you that people think it all comes easily to you.
I'm trying to give people my best.
Yes.
It's not that I'm not doing that, but
and you've been honest about that.
Despise doing it, James. I would much rather send like Chad Gordon up on stage, which is my crew chief, or Luke Mason. Like, just can you guys go do it? I mean, that would be so. That's the hardest part for me is like when I know I've got to give a speech.
Next speech you have, I can write it for you.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Really good at writing.
Actually, you know what? When I do give a speech, though, I like to not prepare anything. It goes a lot easier for me.
That's true. Actually, I'm kind of the same.
Yeah,
winging it is always
isn't it?
easier.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, all right, you're fine then. You'll be fine. All right, well, hey, buddy, thanks for coming by. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Let's try and be the first one in 22 years. Right?
Yeah, Elio. Elio's the last one.
Yeah, all right, best of luck.
It could happen.